There are tons of videos online claiming that doing push-ups or chest exercises will help you get rid of gynecomastia or man boobs. But here's the science. Gynecomastia isn't caused by weak chest muscles or pec muscles. It isn't just extra body fat. It's the actual growth of glandular breast tissue driven by your hormones, usually too much estrogen compared to testosterone. When you do chest exercises, that can build up the muscle underneath. That's great for strength and overall health, but it doesn't affect the glandular tissue, and in fact, it can actually push it out and make it seem worse. So while working out is good for you and losing body fat is good, no amount of push-ups will shrink gynecomastia. To actually fix the problem, you have to address the root cause, which is your hormones. Now, before I show you what actually works, let's look at what gynecomastia is. As I mentioned before, it's the enlargement of the breast tissue in males. It's not just extra body fat, although sometimes it can look like gynecomastia simply in guys that are overweight because of the fatty tissue. And this can be called pseudo-gynecomastia, and it's just fixed by losing body fat. But true gynecomastia is the growth of the glandular tissue, and that's affected by the hormone estrogen, usually with low testosterone, so the balance is out of balance. Gynecomastia can happen at any age, but especially in teenagers around 17, 18, 19, going through puberty, the hormone changes going up and down can really affect this. This will often resolve in a year or two, but doing the things I'm going to mention next will definitely help. Also, older men, once you get into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, testosterone levels can drop and estrogen levels can rise. This doesn't have to happen, but it can make gynecomastia more common after the age of 50. Anybody with obesity or metabolic syndrome, extra body fat will raise estrogen levels, and this is because of the aromatase enzyme converting testosterone into estrogen. So what actually causes gynecomastia? The short answer is anything that tips the balance towards estrogen or less testosterone. So as I mentioned before, going through puberty and the ups and downs in hormones at that stage is a common cause. Another big one is being overweight or obese. The fat tissue converts testosterone through the enzyme aromatase into estrogen. And so being overweight is one of the things you need to address. But not everyone who's overweight will have gynecomastia. And sometimes people who are not overweight can have gynecomastia also, so it's not the only cause. Other causes can be certain medications. Drugs that trigger gynecomastia can include anti-androgens, antipsychotics, antidepressants, heart medications, and even hair loss drugs like finasteride. Never stop medications without talking to your doctor, but there may be other solutions. Drugs and alcohol, especially things like marijuana, amphetamines, and alcohol in particular, will all impact the hormones. Other health conditions like kidney, liver problems, thyroid issues will all affect hormones. Environmental chemicals like BPA, phthalates, parabens, they're all found in plastics and personal care products, and they can mimic estrogen in the body, leading to man boobs or gynecomastia. Also genetics, there's a condition called Klinefelter syndrome, which makes gynecomastia more likely. There's one group that is especially at risk, and that's people that take anabolic steroids. So when you take high doses of steroids, you get unnaturally high levels of testosterone. Especially when you stop taking the steroids, testosterone drops, but estrogen levels can remain high. And this can lead to gynecomastia, especially if you don't do good post-cycle therapy. And there's also a debate whether soy or phytoestrogens cause gynecomastia. But the research says no, you'd have to be taking huge amounts of these to be a problem. And in fact, phytoestrogens can sometimes be helpful. They're a weaker estrogen. So if you want to figure out the underlying cause, you need to do some basic blood tests. The first thing I do when working with clients is doing a full case history. It's important to understand the underlying triggers that may be affecting each person. And typical lab tests that I'll run will include testosterone, both free and total, estradiol, LH and FSH, prolactin, liver and kidney markers, thyroid function. Also, I'd look at things that affect insulin. So you want to check fasting glucose, A1C, and fasting insulin levels. And the reason you check insulin is because high insulin will increase the aromatase enzyme, leading to that testosterone getting converted to estrogen. And for some people, you might want to do a more advanced hormone test. One that I'll often run is the Vibrant Wellness Hormone Zoomer, or the Dutch test. The Hormone Zoomer will measure not just the testosterone and estrogen levels, but how they're getting metabolized in the body. This can be helpful for treatment. We'll also measure cortisol levels, both free and total, and you can see if high cortisol is part of the problem. And we'll also measure the environmental toxins that can be affecting hormones too. So let's talk about solutions to help fix this problem. So if medication is a cause, you want to talk to your doctor about alternatives. If you treat the underlying health issue, you may not even need the medication. If you're overweight, you want to decrease body fat. Excess body fat will increase the aromatase enzyme, converting testosterone into estrogen. So even modest levels of fat loss can help to improve this. And the best way to lose weight is not doing more exercise, but just by reducing your calorie intake, making sure you're getting enough protein and having moderate amounts of fat and carbs, enough to get into a calorie deficit. And you'll know this because you'll be dropping body fat percentage each week. Things that can help to support estrogen detoxification with your diet is vegetables like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts. These are all rich in something called indole-3 carbinol and sulforaphane. And these are naturally occurring chemicals that help to improve the detoxification of estrogen down the healthy pathways. Also, adding more fiber will help to eliminate estrogen through the gut. You can also consider a supplement called DIM, which stands for diindole methane. And this is a compound found in cruciferous vegetables that will help to detox estrogen, and especially helpful for high levels of estrogen or if you don't like eating cruciferous vegetables. You also want to limit alcohol or avoid it for a short period altogether and cut out any recreational drugs. They've been shown to disrupt your natural hormone balance. Avoiding these can help to restore the estrogen to testosterone balance. So you want to limit your exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals. These are found in plastics, especially food that is reheated in plastic containers. So choose glass or ceramic, go for glass water bottles, and watch out for personal care products. They can also be high in these endocrine disrupting chemicals. Make sure you get enough sleep and manage stress. Chronic stress can raise cortisol, and this will suppress testosterone levels and make the hormone balance worse. Prioritizing sleep and getting 7 to 8 hours sleep a night. You do want to do strength training and regular exercise. While exercises like push-ups and lifting weights won't get rid of gynecomastia by itself, it can definitely help your metabolism and improve your overall body composition. You want to optimize gut health. If you're constipated, you're going to be reabsorbing the toxins back into your system. So that's super important, making sure you're getting enough fiber, probiotic foods, and prebiotic foods to feed that bacteria. If you're having digestion issues, you may want to do a more advanced test like the Gutzuma test or the GI map. These tests can measure beta-glucuronidase, and high levels of that can mean that you're reabsorbing estrogen back into the body. And if you're looking to boost testosterone naturally, I've made a dedicated video on the 10 science-based methods to boost testosterone. So check that out next. So while there are medical treatments for gynecomastia like estrogen blocking drugs like tamoxifen, and you can also do things like surgery, if you follow all the steps I've listed in this video, it would be unlikely you'd need them. I've worked with a number of clients and everybody has had good results without going down the pharmaceutical medication or the surgery pathway. So remember, gynecomastia is common. It affects up to 2/3 of men sometime throughout their life. And it's caused by a hormonal imbalance. So getting to the underlying cause and working out what your trigger is the key to success. So remember, push-ups, they can help your overall health, but they won't fix gynecomastia. And getting the right diagnosis and addressing the cause will. Check out the description below to links to the testing that I've mentioned in the video. And if you want to find out how to boost your testosterone levels, which will also help lower estrogen, watch this video next on 10 science-based methods to boost testosterone.